Alright, this is Diesel We the People News. Alright, this video is without prejudice and without recourse, alright? I'm not an attorney, y'all. I'm not giving legal advice, so do not take it as such. It's my opinion only if I say anything at all. Okay? The reason why is because I'm not an attorney, that's why. I never look straight forward, I always look around me, be able to protect myself by any means necessary. Alrighty? Just in case, I'm just going to cover my butt a little bit. Probably not a whole lot, but I'm going to use this UCC 1-308. Also UCC 1-207. Alright? Just cover my butt. All rights reserved. Alright? That's going to be with my prejudice, without prejudice. And this is Rob Ryder, y'all, with double R's. Alright, get onto his channel. It is really worth looking into. He goes into such defined words and on all these property rights, the military, how they're screwing over the military, which he's military. So he goes in there and defines everything. You know, the oath of office, and really digs deep in this. The only problem is his videos are usually between 45 minutes to an hour long, because he covers a lot of crap, y'all. So if you want to learn something, you need to get to his channel, alright? Let's go. Oh, by the way, this is going to be about sheriffs. Basically continuing KrisAnne Hall, but another what you guys call a person, alright? But it's another man versus his research on true sheriffs.
I just want to take a minute to look at something in the commentaries, The Laws of England by William Blackstone. You know, if you're new to this, again, this is like the book that all the original founding fathers would have used as their basis of understanding the English common law, which is what the United States is based on. Right? Everybody read Blackstone's. It was, you know, they had the Bible and they had Blackstone's. And in Blackstone's, it says that the sheriff is an office of very great antiquity in this kingdom. His name being derived from two Saxon words, shire, reeve, da-da-da-da. And if you listen to, you know, a commentary on sheriffs today, they'll say that that's what they're talking about. Yeah, sheriffs have been around since the 9th century. So they're talking about sheriff in the way that Blackstone talks about sheriff. He is a Latin vice-com, as would be deputy to earl, to whom the custody of the shire is said to have been committed at the first division of the kingdom and the counties. Know that. What's the part I wanted to show you? It's a relatively long, read on the sheriffs. So I suggest you download the book. Right? It's Blackstone's commentaries on English law. So it says, as keeper of the king's peace, both by common law and special commission, he is the first man in the county and superior in rank to any nobleman therein during his office. He may apprehend and commit to prison all persons who break the peace or attempt to break it, and may bind anyone in recognizance to keep the king's peace. He may and is bound ex officio, officially, to pursue and take all traitors, murderers, felons, and other misdoers, and commit them to jail for safe custody. He is also to defend his county against any of the king's enemies, and our king is the Constitution of the United States, by the way, when they come.
Catch that? Our king is the Constitution, right? So when they take the oath of office, especially when that's Article 6, Title 4 USC, USC Section 101. Okay, sorry about that, goofed up. Article 6, USC, Title 4, Section 101. They must take that oath with their full legal birth name without, so help me God, to be the true and correct constitutional oath. If they do not take this, all other oaths are null and void. They can take other oaths, but this Article 6 has got to be in there first and foremost. Just saying.
Into the land. And for this purpose, as well as for keeping the peace and pursuing felons, he may command all people of his county to attend him, which is called a posse comitatus, or power of the county. He, together with the constable, coroner, or certain other officers of the king, are forbidden to hold any pleas of the crown, or in other words, to try any criminal offenses. Okay, so he can't try them. See, the sheriff has a court, right? So he can't try him in his court, but he can be the conservator of the peace in his county, which is really all we need him to do, because basically, if you can't use your township the way it's meant to be used, then it's a violation of due process of law. And that's just as easy as me saying, well, the people down there are disturbing the king's peace because the king said I'm supposed to be able to do this, and they're not letting me do it, right? The Constitution says, I cannot be denied due process, and there's a process to be made an inhabitant of the body corporate of a township, but they won't do it down at the township. So, sheriff, come on down and make them do it. That's all you need to do. You don't need to, nobody needs to be arrested. Just make them do what they need to do. That's what I'm hoping for. All right, so back to what I started with again.
Now I'm going to back that up. All right. If they don't do it, they're still doing a due process, breaching the peace, not giving our rights to us, so that makes them tyrants. Therefore, the sheriff must arrest them for breach of peace. And dare I say it, the kings back in the day, what would they have done? Make the sheriff arrest you. Right? So, today, we the people are the kings over the sheriffs. And the guideline is the Constitution. Right? If the federal government trespass on our inalienable rights, the sheriff is to go over there and arrest them, including judges, people. Including judges. And police officers. And mayors. And governors.
Alrighty, so I spent the last couple days putting all this together in my head and putting it on paper. And what did I wanted to say that summarize all the things that I've talked about here recently, and things that are true, right? So I'm going to put it all on paper, send it to the sheriff, give the sheriff some evidence, and see what the sheriff will do. And because we have email now, I sent it by email. I just sent it today, and I know that. No, they didn't call me today, and I don't know if they'll call me tomorrow, but, it didn't bounce back to me, so somebody got it. And if I haven't heard something in a couple of days, well, I'll put a second notice and send it again. But in the meantime, this is what I had to say, right? So, all the stuff about me. So my report, impersonation of public officers in Kent County, Michigan, and elsewhere, is causing the denial of constitutional due process protection and of the Republican form of government guaranteed in the states. By the way, this is like 4 pages long, so it might take me a little bit of time if you want to stop now and get yourself something to drink. And I'll continue on, right? We'll just slowly go through this, and I'm going to stop every once in a while and go show you a document where it says what I'm talking about, so that when we're all done, you can have a basic understanding And if you want to know more about where all this came from, well, you have to go back and start watching videos from the last year, because in the last year I've been concentrating on these types of issues. So, but really, you don't have to, right? You can just wait. I'll do another video if any of this works. And at the end of the day, what you need to know is what works. If you have faith and go do it, and it works, well, then that's all you really needed to know. You need to bother yourself with all this other shit. That was my job. Right? I'm trying to finish my job. So here we go. Sheriff, in your Army captain hat, she was a captain, by the way. I am sure you are aware that enlistees are not released from the custody and control of the military. I am still in the Army, as bound by oath of enlistment today, as the day I enlisted. Now, if you're a veteran and didn't know that, you're still in the military, and the proof of that is that you don't have a discharge order. You may have a DD-214, but you don't have a discharge order. So, in your DD-214, if it's like mine, it's got so many errors and omissions in it. It's just a form that says DD-214 on it, but it certainly isn't a DD-214 by the regulation. It's really hard to find somebody to do something about that, but that's all part of this overall problem, right? That our whole system has been shut down so that we don't have any relief because they put us in this fictitious system. So I'll get into that in the left.
And that's what Blind Justice was going through. All this crap with all these errors and trying to get his due remedies from service. Right? So if you guys don't know of him, check out Blind Justice because he's a vet trying to get veteran aid and all this kind of stuff. And they jerked him around in different spoils. Even when they show him factual evidence of paperwork, they still wouldn't give it.
Let's move on. So, as bound by oath of enlistment today is the day I was enlisted. Therefore, in my official non-commissioned officer hat, I report the violation of the Constitution of the United States by persons impersonating public officers and the devastating effect this man-made disaster has caused on the lives of the inhabitants living in the townships within the territory you claim jurisdiction. Probably should have put over there. Claim jurisdiction over. Claim jurisdiction in. What's the proper last word there? I'm not a grammar expert, as you'll find out. Township inhabitants are denied due process of law, Republican form of government, registration as a qualified elector of the township, a confirmed residence address, franchise public utilities, just to name a few issues. We are subject to the extortion of our wealth by persons impersonating public officers or officials, conspiring with esquires who simulate legal process in private tribunals masquerading as constitutional courts that use counterfeited.
Now, esquires, in a lot of cases, when he talks about esquires, he's talking about lawyers. All right, bound to the crown and operating in foreign, which we call 1938 Foreign Registration Act, without filling that out. So that's what he's calling esquires. They're actually going in there saying that they're this, but they're not this.
Michigan Department of Treasury local government official forms, State of Michigan uniform law citations, that would be a traffic ticket, oaths of office, and state court administrator approved civil, misdemeanor, and felony court forms as props in a criminal scheme that has disfranchised township inhabitants of all constitutional protections and liberties. They have even counterfeited the state's Great Seal. And that's the truth. I'll show you in just a second.
Yeah. If you guys are actually look at the seal of the Republic of Texas, is what I'm in, and the seal of the state of Texas, it's not one and the same. And in fact, even the state of Texas, when the counties and all that do their paperwork, it's still not one and the same. So even just the seals itself And all states have been doing this. And I think they had a big old controversy a few years ago in California about all this SEAL stuff.
Yeah, make sure I turn this thing back on, Jeepers. Okay, so as no township officer has executed valid oaths of office, we are effectively enslaved by belligerents of a private societies who impersonate constitutionally empowered public officers and deny people establishing a domicile in a municipality recognition as a member of the township's body corporate and the protection of Republican form of government guaranteed to the states under the 4th Article of the Constitution of the United States. We need sheriffs to enforce the Constitution of the United States in the organized townships located within their jurisdiction. By common law, the sheriff represents the sovereign within his or her territorial jurisdiction. Our sovereign.
Okay, so for some of y'all don't know, even in the 6th Amendment, we the people are sovereign people. Alright, unless there's a victim, then you give up your sovereignty because you created a victim, which we also call the governed. So we the people are the governed over the governors, and we are sovereign unless we committed harm upon another sovereign. Not sovereign citizen, people. Get that out of your head. Stupid crap, sovereign citizen. Made up crap.
Is the Constitution of the United States, and its articles are being offended in Kent County, Michigan, United States, and every other county in the United States by esquires and public officer impostors. Let me briefly explain where you can find proof of my claims. Oath to satisfy 6th Article of the Constitution of the United States. The very first law passed after the ratification of the Constitution of the United States, an act to regulate the time and manner of administering certain oaths, from Stat 23. All right, so that's the law, an act to regulate time and manner of administering certain oaths. Right now, it's in the first book of the Statutes at Large on page 23. That's why it's called 1 Stat 23. Very first law passed, and it says in the first.
Very first law passed was the frickin' oath of office.
Section. Being enacted by the Senate and House of Representatives of the United States of America in Congress assembled, that the oath or affirmation required by the 6th Article of the Constitution of the United States shall be administered in the form following, to wit, I, Robert Allen Bertluski, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States. Period. All right, so let's stop there for a second. All right, that's the oath.
How freaking hard is that? Honestly, y'all. And that's what we call the Article 6, USC Title 4, Section 101 for the sheriffs. That nobody's freaking taken. No judges, no district attorneys, no prosecutors, anybody that's working for the state. The governor's not fucking taking it. Your cops are not taking it. Your sheriffs are not taking it. Nobody is literally taking this correct oath of office, which makes them non-liable to operate within the Constitution. Yeah, you wonder why they don't operate in the Constitution? Because they didn't take this oath, y'all. They know this. Most cops and sheriffs, their IQ is not high enough to know this, but every frickin' judge knows this. And I'm willing to bet, since most governors and all that used to be attorneys, they know it. All the prosecutors and district attorneys know this. Court-appointed attorneys know this. And dare I say it, our Supreme Court knows this and not taking it. They all are operating in bad faith, lying, cheating whores. And when I say whores, it's because they're taking your money, convincing you're a criminal, when in fact, they're the ones lying, cheating whores.
Satisfies the 6th article of the Constitution. Now, when you go look at the 6th article, it'll say, well, here's the people that need to take it. Right? But what that looks like when you go look in the law book, that's the laws of the United States, acts of the first Congress of the United States, where George Washington is president, John Adams the vice president, and president of the Senate, and Frederick Augustus Muhlenberg, Speaker of the House of Representatives, got together. That's all they got together. And they passed this law. And it said, being enacted, right? This is the section we just read, right? So there you go. And then the rest of it is, well, what do you do after you take the oath? And part of it is that such officers shall incur the same penalties in case of failure as shall be imposed by law in case of failure in taking their respective oath of office. So, if you don't take this oath, it's the same as not taking the one for your respective oath of office for your office. Apparently, you have to take more than one oath. Go figure. Now, in King Henry VIII's time, if you didn't take his oath, it was called treason, and he would have you executed. So it's an act of...
Well, since it was acted in law, and since they're not taking it, and they're saying they are government employees, your judges operating in treason. The Supreme Court's operating in treason. The president is operating in treason. And by the way, the president's oath of office is going to be the Article 2 oath of office. And it still cannot have, so help me God, and it has to have a full legal birth name, which you don't never see. Get a copy of it. See if there's his full legal birth name on there. It's not on there, y'all. So he's not illegal or lawful. It may be legal, but he's not a lawful president. Congress is not lawful. Senate is not lawful. Supreme Court is not lawful. Every government official is not lawful in our country. So that way there won't be... What do you think we had the sovereign immunity thing for cops and judges and all that? Deny liability because, well, they never took the oath. Sorry.
Treason to fail to take an oath of office. Now it goes on to say that there's these other oaths that are supposed to be for the clerk of the House and the Senate. And it would be interesting to see if this is the oath they're taking or not. I've never actually checked it, but, there you go. That's the law. What can I tell you? There's no need arguing about it. It's the law of the United States, right? This oath, in the statutes at large, at 1 Stat 23, has been codified in the United States Code as for USC, for United States Code, Section 101, oath by members of legislature and officers, where it says that every member of a state legislature and every executive and judicial officer of a state shall, before he...
Judicial, y'all. Every judicial. What is that? Judges, executive, Congress, the Senate.
To execute the duties of his office, take an oath in the following form. And it's the same oath, right? And so, that's what that looks like. This is right out of the government printing office, right? The GPO, and because it has the little eagle on it, it says authenticated U.S. government information. That's like saying this is a certified copy of what the law is today. Now, the problem with that is, as soon as you print this out, it loses that distinction. So if you wanted to have this printed out, have it be foolproof evidence for some use, you would have to print it out at the library, have it printed out by the library themselves, and tell them to put their library seal on it. Tell them you want to use it in a court case. Because if you just print it out...
Yeah, you must use that in the court case. And I completely forgot about telling you guys this over and over and over when I talked about this oath of office, right? go to the library, like he said, and do what he said. Okay? Because if you're going to put it in there, you want basically the original copies certified to make it, well, certified complaint, really. And I would go so far as a criminal complaint. They're committing crimes by not doing it.
Give it to them, that's hearsay evidence. But if they certify that it's a public record, well, then that's foolproof evidence. It doesn't take anything else to prove it is what it is. Actually, it's called self-authenticating evidence under the Federal Rules of Evidence, Rule 902. Anyways,
Remember
in
that.
Section 101, it says, there it is, right? Same thing. So, you can't deny it says that, the state legislature and every executive and judicial officer of the state shall take this oath. There. So now you're in court for foreclosure. There's a guy sitting up there says he's the judge. Did he take this oath or not? If he didn't, he's not a state judge, so why are you there, adjudicating this in front of him? You just went to Lochner's court.
And I suggest everybody starts doing that, right? Go down to the library and get a certified copy of that with the seal of the library and put this in every one of y'all's court case that when you are, wink wink, representing yourself. Okay? You can't represent yourself if you are yourself, but let's just go with what everybody says, represent themselves. Now, attorneys will not do this. You can forget that, right? And you also want to send a copy to your the prosecutor. Let's just say, yeah, when the prosecutor is trying to get you for your tickets or whatever, you judge your tickets and all that. You want a copy, basically throwing a complaint on this attorney over there, trying to convict you of your ticket, and say, hey, whoa, wait a minute. Do you have the Article 6 to even proceed forward in this case? How about you, Judge? Sorry.
Now, you really can't blame the judge, although we're going to, in a way. But, you can't blame the judge at that particular moment because the judge didn't bring you to his court. The opposing party did, which is some esquire, right, attorney at law, that, brought you to a judge, brought this case to a judge who doesn't have the authority to hear it. That is a malicious prosecution. Right? It's simulated legal.
Boom. Malicious prosecution, and that should be one of your judicial complaints. Also, you guys heard about me talking about, learning how to start filing judicial complaints. And I would go far as criminal complaints because now they're trying to charge you for some type of crime and causing you harm. What is that? When there's a victim, that is a crime. So that judge created a victim by not having the right oath of office. That attorney, the esquire, since they don't have the right oath of office, has created a victim. Right? So it just sounds easy, y'all. It's a lot of paperwork.
Process under color of law. It's a fucking crime. It's really that simple. He's learned in the law. He's supposed to know that.
That's
Especially
right.
if they're the prosecutor.
It's a fucking
The
crime.
prosecutors do this too, right? They do this for criminal and civil. They do.
I've seen this thing on Sheriff here, so I have not listened to this video, really. I kind of brushed through it because I knew the beginning part was pretty long. I think it's kind of funny when I said that, and then he turned around and said it too. Oh my goodness.
But at the state, they do it at the federal. It's all the same. None of these people pretending to be a judge has taken this oath. Now, this one here is specifically written, so the state officers, but it's the same as this oath right here. Right? And so all we need to do is, well, this is the one that satisfies the 6th article, so let's go look at the 6th article and see who's in the 6th article needs to take the oath of office. We'll be there soon enough. Okay, let's continue on. So, Sheriff, 4 U.S.C. 101 is a law of the United States, and its oath, should say, is superior to any other oath required by the state. Right? This is one, any other oath they have to take. This oath, with those words by themselves, has to be taken just the way you see it. Right? I, Robert L. Orlowski, do solemnly swear I will support the Constitution of the United States. This one doesn't even let you affirm it. You have to say solemnly swore that I will support the Constitution of the United States, or you cannot be a freaking executive, judicial, or state legislative officer of the state.
Amen, Brother Rob.
You know, judicial and executive offices, they go all the way down to township, right? That includes the mayor, includes anybody who's claiming to be a public officer in the state. And none of them have taken it. Okay, so yet, not the governor or the state attorney general or the state secretary of state or any alleged Michigan justice or judge, county commissioner, county clerk, drain commissioner, county treasurer, township supervisor, or board member of any other person claiming authority under the Constitution has executed.
No, I have not done mayors or anything like that. I have done judges and officers on the oath of office and got some of their copies of the oath of office, but never found one with the attorney or judge or any other officers with this Article 6. Never. So I really haven't had really a whole lot of cases since I learned about the Article 6. Sorry.
This oath. We do not have a constitutional government. Instead, we have usurpers acting as tyrants, impersonating public officers and officials. Call it what it is. Even the oath filed, if filed, that allegedly satisfies the Michigan Constitution of 1963, is a counterfeit. It contains grammatical style changes, is subscribed using fictitious names instead of the legal identification, like on a state ID, and in the case of the governor, an unauthorized person administered the oath.
Alright, this video took a little longer than I thought, y'all. We're going to go ahead and shut it down there. But check out Rob Ryder, y'all. Okay? OBBBRYDR. Alright? It's got 3 B's in there, y'all. So double check that. Give me a thumbs up if you guys want me to kind of update a little bit more on this right here or not. You know, like I said, his videos are extremely long, and this one is actually extremely long. So just imagine how long his is. Alright, this will be the People News. Bye, y'all.